I fully intend to live until 111, 111, 111. Greetings, family and friends. Quick video to give you an update of what's been happening in Jamaica. As you all know, or many of you know, I've been here for the last 2.5 years. I came out here during the COVID crisis to support my parents, feeling very strongly that I wanted to be close to them, to support them during some of the most difficult times that any of us have ever seen or experienced, what I kind of called our World War scenario. Many of you might have seen the videos that I've been making around health and well-being and maybe wondering, why is she doing that? You know, a lot of you know that I was blessed under the star of Venus as a creative, and so a lot of my life has been spent doing creative pursuits. A lot of you know fashion was one of those. Setting up a restaurant chain, what else? Sustainable clothing, pioneer. So a lot of you know, if you look at my history, I was pioneering things before being an entrepreneur was a thing. I went off to America and I did that without having a mentor, just really tapping into my own intuition. And if anything was a mentor, it was my grandmother Laura and the stories of how she was a higgler. She was a higgler in Kingston Coronation Market, and she used to leave here, St. Elizabeth, to go and sell her wares there. Also observing as a young child of 5 and 6 when Nanny and Granddad set up a shop in Camberwell that I saw my uncles and aunts and my parents all be a part of supporting. So those were really the seeds of who I am. And so it kind of speaks to the fact that I'm here in Jamaica. I feel my sense of who I am as a Jamaican and a person of African descent very, very strongly. I feel that sense of being, that connection to nature very, very strongly. And so I knew that having accomplished certain things in my life, I really wanted to turn a chapter and do something different. However, health and well-being wasn't something new. It's something I'd practiced since having epiphanies as a very young child. Number one, when I observed that all of my cousins either suffered from asthma or eczema, and my mind, my intuition guided me to realize, hang on a minute, what is it that people have in common? Apart from their DNA, it's the foods that they eat that they have in common. Families tend to have common patterns of consumption and being, and the way that they behave as well. And so I had made these connections with food, behavior, and well-being. The mad cow crisis in the late 80s, I saw that. I heard what the farming community was doing, i.e. people who profit out of food, what they were doing to cut corners and how they weren't taking into consideration our health and well-being. And that's when I stopped eating meat at the age of 18. Also just felt a calling to understand that everything I needed could come from plants. And so my journey of health and well-being has been one that has been throughout my life, you know, recognizing and appreciating my grandparents' love of the earth. Grew up growing our foods when it wasn't a thing, you know, watching mum and dad and Nanny and them plant their foods in their garden and kind of reap the benefits of that. These are all things that were instilled in me. These were the seeds of who I have become. And so when this crisis happened, and when I heard what governments were saying about how we were supposed to support ourselves and be well, alarm bells started going off, red flags started going off, because I recognized that I had been following a path which was much more an empowered path, a path of knowledge, gaining knowledge and understanding about what really makes us strong, what really makes us healthy, what really gives us longevity in our life. And I realized that I needed to start to share what I knew. So all that to say, for the last 2.5 years, I have been trying to bring all of this into a format that people could understand. Initially, it was writing. I have written hundreds of thousands of words. And as much as I love writing, I also recognized and realized that not all of us are big readers. And so I've realized that I have to now make things into video format, audio format, so that people can take in the information. Also, I started doing retreats, because experiencing things is where you really learn. So I've been offering retreats for women where they come to Jamaica and they spend a week with me and do what I do, including eating what I eat and resting when I rest, and all the things, and the exercises and the breathing and the stretching and affirmations, and literally having life-changing experiences. I've had women report after literally just 2 days of eating food, all the issues they have with their stomachs and constipation literally goes away. So, but I recognize that not everyone has the resources, the time, and the literal money to be able to come to me in Jamaica. And so I was figuring out a way that people could do it from the comfort and convenience of their own homes and still join me. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do this virtually. I'm going to do this virtually. The other thing I realized was that I needed to chunk things down. I knew too much. It was too much. I could have become a doctor, and I guess people would have respected me more if I had MD behind my names. But my path was different. My path was different, to acquire the knowledge in a different way, and not only have this knowledge whereby I sit behind a desk and tell people what to do, or I'm in surgery, cutting out something, cutting people up. My path was to let people know about the precautionary steps that we could take so that we don't get ill. The precautionary steps, and the fact that prevention is better than cure. 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 And the fact that this is all about lifestyle, or liberty as we call it here in Jamaica. It's about what we do, what we think, how we act, our habits, our behavior. It's about being empowered. Recognizing that we do have the power to be able to affect our own future, and the future of this body, and how strong it stays. And so I recognized that my path wasn't to become an MD. My path was to practice and then show people. At the age of 58, 2 years off of 60, I don't dye my hair. I don't have gray hair. I hardly have a line on my face. My muscles are still as they were in their 20s. I don't take any prescription drugs. I have no ailments. This is what it's called to have integrity of body. So I've practiced, and I am the result. This has been 40 years in the making. Simple practices of a daily practice that becomes so automatic. It ain't a thing. It's nothing. It's just who I am, you know. And I want to share this with younger people as well, specifically because it grieves my heart to hear that another cousin has passed prematurely before they should have passed. Why do I say that? Because when we look at the ages that our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents were passing at, it was up in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and I've done that work. I've looked into the family tree and seen that. Not only that, I came across the Hutchinson's Encyclopedia a couple of months ago that had a list of the healthiest nations on the planet. Guess where Jamaica was? Number 14. Number 14, one of the healthiest nations on the planet. How did they judge that? In terms of longevity and the age at which people passed. I jumped online recently and looked at where is Jamaica now? Number 40. Things have changed, not for the better. A lot of us thought that going a foreign, going to England, Canada, the US, would make our lives better. And it has, of course it has. I'm here, who I am now, because of that decision that my grandparents made to go a foreign. Here I am. But what happened was that things became imbalanced. Life is about balance. Here I am as a Libran, the scales, telling you life is about balance, and we can go so far in the other direction that ill health and all kinds of psychological issues, the mental health and the mental strain that our people have been under has dipped it, so that we have to come back into balance. And I believe that that balance is on a journey of what is called Sankofa. Sankofa. The Ghanaian word for going back and retrieving what is good. Looking back and retrieving what is good. Yes, sort out. Of course there is bad, but there is good. And we take that and we retrieve it. Sankofa. Because not everything in this modern life, as we can see, is for us. Not everything is for our benefit. A lot of it is very damaging, as we have come to realize, those who are living in the West. A lot of it has been a huge sacrifice, mainly in terms of health and relationships. But there is a coming around. There is definitely an awakening taking place where people are waking up and realizing, but for some it's too late, and I don't want that for the young people. Family, I love you. I love you. And I don't want to see more of you passing prematurely from non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases are the things, they're not the things we catch as a virus, they're the things that develop over time because we're not doing the right thing. Basically, non-communicable disease is slow death. Slow death because we're not doing the right things. The heart disease, the diabetes, the stroke, we can do something about it. We are so much more powerful than we realize. And it's knowledge and then action. Knowledge, right action. Knowledge, right action. Right knowledge, right action. I'm just breaking it down for people. All of this to say, I need your support. I'm appealing to you to support me in what I'm doing, because what I'm doing isn't just for me, it's for the nations. I was a teenager again when I was speaking to my grandmother Laura. She's telling me about Jamaica, and I was like, I made that commitment to come back to Jamaica as a teenager for the benefit of Jamaica. And so a lot of people don't understand what I'm doing here, giving up this and giving up that to be here. I made sacrifices, yeah, but you know what? What I have gained from those sacrifices so outweighs the sacrifice, the benefits and the blessings that I have living in Jamaica right now. I can make a list as long as my arm. But this is to appeal to my friends and family, those people who love me and say they love me, support me, because I have been here hardly making a penny since I've been here. I've been living off of my savings and investments, which are running thin right now. But here I am, 2 years later. I have a program that can help so many people, and I am intending to market it globally. But as you know, all great stories start with a beginning. That boulder that I'm trying to push up the hill needs some support to get it going, or rather downhill. Let's use that analogy, because if we just push that boulder a little bit and get it going, the momentum will then pick up. But I need support from my friends and family right now. How do you do that? Follow my online platforms. Not only follow, comment, engage, just as lovely Henry does on Facebook. He engages to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Support me in what I'm doing. I really need you. Not that I want or I would like. I really need you to support my next program, which happens in about 10 days time. It's a weekend challenge to clean up your gut. It's a weekend challenge to stop drinking the alcohol, stop drinking the milk. We don't even have the enzymes to deal with dairy. That's why we have the issues we do. We don't have the discipline to realize what's good for us and what's not good for us, and to give it up. And so the challenge is about doing it for 48 hours. So I'm asking you to support me in this so that I can then get the videos, we have the pictures, we have this community that will then assist me in going further afield in Jamaica, but then globally. And I have distilled everything. I've spent 2.5 years just trying to distill this information so that it is as simple as possible. I have been told by people in the past who I've coached, you make things sound so simple. And it's true. I try to break things down so that I can speak to my niece, little Zara, and little Olivia at 5 and 10, so that they understand and they can really grasp it and go forward with it. The challenge is about doing it for 48 hours, doing it together, doing it with me, because I'll be online supporting you. So it's the 22nd and the 23rd of April, Saturday and the Sunday, but there's a pre-course. There's some pre-learning that I need you to also tap into. And there's going to be a Zoom call on the Thursday in the afternoon and in the evening. No excuse, 2 opportunities to join me. I need you to do this so that I can then have a group, a community around me. Because everybody now, when they buy things, they want to see, oh, who else has done it? They need to have some endorsement, you know? And I've had the endorsements from the women that have been here in Jamaica, who came all the way from Canada, the UK, the US. Spent big money to be here, thousands to be here with me. And all I'm asking is that people come on a virtual experience with me for 2 days. So it's important. It's important. I need your support. And there's no shame. There is no shame in my life. I don't have shame. Shame is such a destructive energy. It will break you down from the inside. So the course is all about supporting your gut health, because the gut is where health begins and ends. Another way you can support is, as well as signing up for the challenge, I will set up a Patreon account as well. And if you feel that you want to support me in that way as well, where you can support with a small amount every month for the healing of the nation, here we go. One love. I fully intend to live until 111. And I'm telling people,